Just as there are 50 ways to leave your lover, there are a lot of ways to lose your Bitcoin. While none of these are good, I imagine that having the FBI seize your Bitcoin is one of the less agreeable ways for this to take place. Today, we welcome crypto OG Elena Obukhova to the show to share her encounter with the FBI, to discuss the importance of decentralization, and also to check out the ticketing project she's launched. It's the If Only FBI Stood for Fun Bacon Incorporated, I'd Welcome Them, episode number 610 of the Bad Crypto Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2.
Who's bad?
Dude, the FBI's here. And they brought bacon.
Wait, I thought it'd be like the fun Bitcoin investors, like fun Bitcoin investments. All right, it's like nope. They taken away all your things. I'm really disappointed that we didn't have a song. 50 ways to lose your Bitcoin.
You
lose your ledger. You lose your ledger, Luke. Forget your keys, G's.
For those of you who
Where's
don't
my
know,
stats? Where's my sats, Jack?
That's a Paul Simon song from the 1970s because we're old. We're old. We used to listen to well, you never did, but I used to listen to AM radio.
I listened to AM radio whenever I was really young. I guess
some of you don't even know what AM radio is. Just saying. So
that's not true. Everybody has an AM radio in their car.
Wait, there's radios in cars still?
Yeah, they have radios. Like seriously, that's where I normally will still listen to my sports radio. Sometimes when I'm in Kansas City, it's 6:10 a.m. Right? It's like this AM didn't go away, Joel. It's not like 8-track.
Is 8-track gone?
I think 8-track is gone.
There's got to be an El Camino out there somewhere that's still got a 8-track in it.
I live on El Camino Road, but I don't have one of those trucks.
There you go. Welcome to the Bad Crypto Podcast. Joel Comm and Travis Wright here for your crypto pleasure. Some of you might have thought that the heat was a little hot on our last episode. Oh, well, we're glad that you're here just the same. Thanks for tuning in. On this show, we say what we want to say, primarily because it's our show. Like that's,
Well, I mean, it's the real truth is that politics and cryptocurrency are not they're not two separate topics. Mm-hmm. They intermingle. There's a weaving between the two. And, Joel and I each are really solution finders. We're shit figure outers. We're trying to make the world better in our own ways. And crypto in a lot of ways does that. And what it's trying to make things better from is the current geopolitical situations that's going on. So if you don't like what we're talking about sometimes, that's okay. We can learn how to disagree agreeably like adults. We don't have to agree on everything because if so, that's boring.
No, you have to agree with me.
Joel, life would be so dull if we all agreed that everything should be the way that Joel wants it.
I want it my way. So, Frank Sinatra did it his way. I want it that way. That's another song, right? I want it that way.
Get off the bus, Gus.
All right. Well, we've got a great interview for you guys. And instead of us just droning on and saying words that aren't really all that interesting, let's give you somebody who is super interesting. Here we go with Elena Obukhova. It's always a privilege to speak with an OG who is more OGer than us. And when it turns out that she's also a female, because that's what she's are, even better, because the world needs more crypto chicks. And this woman has a fascinating story about her Bitcoin being taken by the FBI. True story. Her name is Elena Obukhova, and she joins us here today. Elena, welcome to Bad Crypto.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me today.
Glad that you are here. You've been in the Bitcoin world for a long time, so maybe just kind of give us an overview of how you got into Bitcoin and what attracted you to it so much. Why was it so sexy that you were like, Bitcoin, I must have you?
Yeah.
Precisely just like that, I'm sure, Joel.
Yeah, I saw a photo of our digital currency, Bitcoin. Yeah, and so I was like, yeah, I should jump straight on board. Yeah.
I felt the same way for whatever it's worth. Bitcoin has no gender. And so I was just like, "Wow, Bitcoin, going over to my place."
Come on, see me sometime.
But yeah, Bitcoin was very, very exciting, very attractive. And at that moment, it was 2014, and I was following so much tech updates. Like whatever tech news were appearing, I was there. And obviously, I couldn't not notice Bitcoin, as it was a second Bitcoin wave. So lots of people was getting, lots of people, relatively, of course, to these days, but there are a lot of interest in mining. So people were jumping on board, trying to mine this amazing new digital currency. And what attracted me was their technology behind and an opportunity to rebuild the economy, to have something so new for financial sector. And also just briefly to mention, my background is quantitative finance. So where tech and finance meets is something that is always extremely exciting and attractive for me. And that was Bitcoin. So I got my first Bitcoin at that moment through BTCE. And in 2017, I opened BTCE again and saw a very welcoming message that the whole exchange was shut down by FBI and all the funds were seized.
Like, yay, thank you, FBI.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. And then KGB was like, I would like to also have Elena Bitcoin. May you please give to us? There is no
didn't
KGB.
Get their share.
They don't know. It's FSB now, right? The
FSB, as they call it.
FSB.
Yeah.
It's like
FSB,
but it's FSB.
Yeah, it's a slight rebranding.
Yeah,
they just same, but different.
Right. No, we did away with the KGB. Now it's the FSB. It's totally different. Yeah. So that's nice. So you got in, and then did you get any of that back? Because I know the FBI did see some, but then there was also like the settlement that was going on. And so some people were able to get some of their Bitcoin back, or the value of what the Bitcoin was at that particular time, losing all their gains. Did you ever get any of that back, or they just say, "Do svidaniya" to you?
Well, my friend actually succeeded to retrieve, I believe, 10 or 15% from what was seized from him by FBI. I did try to retrieve it, but I didn't really succeed. I don't think I tried hard enough. First of all, personally, I was thinking that it's a really good and expensive lesson for me to learn how to store my personal funds. That whatever centralized is not secured, and whatever, if I don't have my private key or a seed phrase, it doesn't belong to me. So I still think it was quite an expensive lesson, but an important one. And it's also a cool story that I can tell to other people, and maybe that will motivate them to learn how to take custody over their assets.
Is there more to the story itself? I mean, how does that actually happen? FBI, we understand you've got some Bitcoin here in this exchange. Give it to us. We're taking it. I mean, how does that actually happen?
They didn't come after Elena personally. They didn't see that, she got some Bitcoin and she doesn't have a custody over there. Maybe we can just simply take it from her. No, the story was the BTCE supposedly had some illegal activities or something related to money laundering. 2014, government still and now too, they're really scared about crypto and people doing transactions outside of a banking sector, so they cannot really track them as easily that actually they can do now even easier with their fully transparent ledger. But at that moment for them it was something really new, and they thought okay, everyone's using it for illegal operations, and to be honest, I think that there are still some dark web operations where people were like using BTC to buy Bitcoin, to go to a dark web, do some transactions. But other people were just trying something new. They wanted to buy Bitcoins that everyone like talking about, and they wanted to try some new digital asset. And FBI, of course, shut down the whole exchange, and they were supposed to do investigations. They were supposed to, now it would be completely different, right? If you're seizing a centralized exchange in 2022, when lots of people familiar with cryptocurrency and they have major savings in crypto, of course, this investigation will go on, and FBI will have to recover and send back funds of people who are not anyhow connected to illegal activities. But at that moment, they just shut down the whole exchange for whatever illegal activities they claimed. I'm not sure they were happening. Maybe they were. That's not a really important part of the situation. So most important that lots of people just had their first Bitcoins purchased and stored on BTCE, and they were kind of part of the whole deal and operation when they shut down exchange and decided not to deal with these funds because they didn't think it's something important and they didn't really treat it as money. Back then, for them, it was just some token the people using for illegal operations on the dark web, and at least that's what they were saying to people, right? And it's
very illegal dark webby things going on. Elena, you should have known better.
I didn't do anything.
You shouldn't have been doing that stuff. Why are you doing that?
I just had my Bitcoins there, on the wallet.
Right. You're like, no. I'm just an early adopter. I'm like a super pioneer into this Bitcoin stuff. And how many early on did you have? Like in that price in 2014, it was not even $500. Wasn't even $400 at that time. What, probably a couple $100?
It was jumping, so I was buying it like in different periods of time, but price was jumping between 200 and 800 in 2014. So yeah, it was a really good time to jump on board.
Yeah, 200 to 800, getting on that crypto thing. So that was early on, and then what did you do after that? So it's like you've been in the space since 2014, and I know that you've been working on a lot of stuff. You're a founder of the FinTech advisory services, and you've been working with a lot of projects. So like, what happened after that? Where did you go after 2014 as you were evolving your career?
So 2014 till 2017, I would say was more like there were years when I was just exploring the crypto space. I was learning a bit more. There was not that much business activities happening. And 2017, when it's actually kicked out with ICO boom, with lots of projects appearing in the space. And at that moment, I was living in China. So I started consulting businesses on how they can get access to Chinese users and how they can deal with their local regulations. I used to speak Chinese very well, not anymore. So at that moment, I was able to help them with all the technical parts, with legal parts, and help them to expand to those markets. And at that moment, I also joined the United Nations, was briefly consulting them on the blockchain technology for financial inclusion, how cryptocurrency can be used in developing countries in Southeast Asia and include more people in the financial sector. However, as we all know, large corporations and organizations have so much bureaucracy. So it was really impossible to solve anything. And that's how I started consulting company with a mission to help smaller businesses in the crypto space or businesses that are willing to explore crypto space to grow their ventures and succeed.
And now here we are in an emerging Web3 world, lots of pros and cons around Web3. I'd like to know your take on what excites you the most about Web3 and what you also find perhaps the scariest part of it.
Well, I like to say that Web3 is still not really happening, unfortunately. Because we're trying to build lots of decentralized solutions, but how decentralized are we? We're still using cloud hosting providers. We're still running our master nodes on centralized platforms. And the journey is exciting. That trying to build in a space, I do think that reached, I wouldn't call it maturity, but it's definitely more maturity compared to 2017-18 when projects were just having like a white paper. They like put some idea, even like completely unrealistic one, raising millions of dollars, disappearing, or maybe trying to build something but failing. Not everyone tried to scam people. There were lots of projects that tried to actually build a great project and they just couldn't succeed because it was too early and too ambitious what they were trying to build. And we were discussing and we were expecting that industry will change so much by this period of time. But now I visited Miami, Bitcoin 2022. And for me, it was on one side, it was really exciting because I saw 30,000 people. And I remember 2017 and the conferences in Hong Kong with 1,000 people when I saw like, wow, so many people in the crypto space. That's exciting. And now
Bitcoin Miami was huge. It was really, really big. It was like, Joel, it was like, it's getting the CES level, not quite, but like we're giving these conferences another couple of years. There's going to be 100,000 people trying to come to these events. We're getting there.
Absolutely. The only thing that what I started realizing when I was talking to people who came for Bitcoin 2022, majority of them were here for a hype because they saw that, oh, crypto space are having so much funds, money, it's so attractive. We can also accelerate our career way faster because in crypto, they have more opportunities to become C-level executives. So they're willing to switch from their traditional industry into crypto, but they don't have same beliefs. So when I was joining Space in 2014, I saw that it's a revolutionary tools that can help financial sector. And now this revolution became just a buzzword. And everyone's saying we're trying to revolutionize industry, but do we? We're still switching into like we're using Web3 technology, but we're still using centralized platforms. We're still using centralized data storage. We're using centralized exchanges, and we're still storing our crypto there on all like Binance, Kraken, and all other centralized exchanges, Coinbase. People still store their funds without understanding the need and taking custody. And that's why like 2017 was a great year to see how industry started growing with the projects appearing on the market. Then I expected to see way more progress, and we do have some maturity. We have smarter marketing, smarter approach. We see people already trying to attract not only individuals that are tech and crypto savvy, but also people from outside. But I still feel we're in some sort of bubble, like we're living in the crypto bubble, not like financially in financial terms, but it's just like our own world. And we're assuming that everyone else understands crypto. And whatever we're trying to offer them, like MetaMask, that everyone else knows what MetaMask is, but majority of people have no idea.
Yeah, no, they're clueless. It's funny. I was just on Twitter, and there's some game companies like one of them's called Super Rare that's signing an anti-NFT pledge. And I'm thinking, you people don't even understand what you're doing. You know, somebody told you that NFTs are killing the environment, and of course those who won't arrive until mass adoption are like, yeah, screw NFTs, and they're uninformed. They're not stupid. They're just uninformed, and we can't expect the masses to come until it's as easy as putting your credit card into the machine without having to understand how that thing works.
Absolutely. And that's another thing, like we changing so many verticals, so many industries, but we're not changing education. And lots of people were asking, I was recently speaking at the Security Token Summit here in New York, and there are several people coming who are willing to learn about crypto. And that's the same case with many other events. And people coming to me because I'm a speaker there, they're seeking also some, I don't know, like some knowledge on how they can join the space, how they can learn. And lots of people start asking me like, what is a university? Like they have kids, for example, and they want to send their kids to a university where they can learn about crypto and blockchain. And I'm saying, No, it's impossible. It's impossible to learn in the university. I can't imagine a single university programs that can change and adapt as fast as our industry is changing. I mean, I'm scared to go to sleep because in the morning I will wake up and like everything is completely different. We already have new trend, a bunch of news that you need to catch up with, and we're not.
That's okay. You still got to get your sleep, Elena. Don't be. You can't be skipping out on the sleep, because if you do that too long, then you don't got to worry about tomorrow, because you won't be alive because you didn't get enough sleep. You know,
I'm sleeping a little bit.
Well, that's good. Yeah, the world is, that was a very, very valid point, is that, we had this whole 2020, 2021, where this COVID lockdowns and stuff, and these teachers were teaching on Zoom. None of them were prepared to do that. Like, and then we have all these things like Udemy, and we have edX and all these other great courses. I mean, even if you want to get out on the spiritual side of stuff, there's Gaia TV, there's Mind Valley, there's all these really great places where you can go get information that's not a school curriculum, right? Stuff that you don't ever learn in a school. The education system worldwide needs a reboot, because they just prepare people to be employees in the elites companies. They don't prepare people to be entrepreneurs or independent thinkers or people who can be independently living on their own, right? Society's not built for that. If society was built, and I'm going to go on a little rant here, because if society was built if they cared about climate change, well, then we'd probably all have gardens in our front yard instead of lawns, right? We'd probably use our backyard to grow little homesteads, right? Because we want to be self-sustained. They don't want us to be self-sustained. They want us to be consumers. They want us to consume all their stuff and not really be providers or independent in any way. They want us forever reliant upon the government teat, right? And they program us every step of the way, not just in America, in propaganda and indoctrination all over the world, because a lot of the ideologies are permeated through most every culture. And so, all that stuff needs a reboot. You're right. Like, there's some things that need to really change to move us into this Web3 world so that we can be curious and self-sustaining and educating ourselves.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're imagining like smart people that are can self-sustain themselves without like any corporations, without any additional resources, they don't need governments. They don't need like any structures. They can sustain themselves, right? And of course, government is feared because they're going to lose power. They're going to lose money.
Joel, you're going to lose power and money, you government guy.
Yeah, I know. So they're working on on the tiles outside again. So I'm muting every opportunity possible, because they really delayed one recording today. So I do love Puerto Rico though, and that's where Travis and I are both now. So you're working on a project of your own. You're the founder of Flashback.one, and it looks to be a ticketing Web3 site. So tell us more about this.
Yeah, so we're working on, we started as NFT ticketing platform, but we designed it for mass market. So as I started briefly mentioning that we are so far away from decentralization because majority of people still don't understand what MetaMask is, what crypto is, and of course, what NFTs are. They're struggling to use like any new wallets. And if we're talking about ticketing, with ticketing, you cannot imagine someone buying a Broadway tickets and they would need to download the MetaMask first. I mean, majority of people who go to Broadway, they won't be able to get the tickets. They will rather pay with cash somewhere at the door than trying to go through all this complicated procedure, learning how to buy NFT with MetaMask. And for that reason, we simplified UX to make the onboarding as simple as possible. Yes, it's centralized, but that's what market needs as an entry point. And our mission is to start onboarding people in the world of Web3. So through some easier centralized solutions that they can understand in the entry step. And on the step 2, they can start learning what is their custody of their NFTs, why is it important, and how they can download the MetaMask, or how they can withdraw their NFTs, and if they need to withdraw them outside of platform. Why is it important? So in this way, they can start learning step by step, but not in the time when they need urgently to buy a ticket and enjoy a show. We don't want it to be an annoying step for them to get angry and say like, oh my God, like, why do we need to have this MetaMask? I hate it. I don't want this NFT. I just want a ticket for a show. And in this case, they're getting a collectible first, and then they start learning about our different perks. And right now, Flashback is expanding more. We're adding joint loyalty programs to help small businesses and merchants to collaborate. So now, let's say restaurants, galleries, coffee shops, they can form joint loyalty programs, mean their NFT as a loyalty program, and share it with their customers. So they get access to a larger user base through their partnerships. So they improve marketing without any extra costs. They enjoy, of course, a collaborative approach and faster user acquisition. And at the same time, they remain in touch with their customers. And the beautiful thing here is I started realizing how important communities are for a brand. Communities is something that was never treated as an asset, although it is. Because whenever you have a community as a part of your brand, people who really love you, people who are loyal with your brand, that's something that you want to keep, because that's an important asset. That's how your brand continue growing, continue generating revenue, and continue sustaining itself. And with NFT, you are getting this community regardless of any centralized platform, because whoever holds an NFT, they are forever connected with you. Even if it's outside of Flashback or any other platform, we're not limiting people to centralized platforms. Although we're, of course, adding more perks to use it and making the onboarding and initial meeting very simple for them.
That is awesome. Yeah, you're working on some interesting stuff. So the ticketing platform. Now, what all types of events do you plan on offering ticketing for?
So we started obviously with lots of crypto and blockchain events. Of course, that's something that is easier to understand for event organizers. And we started doing use cases with them. Right now, we're talking to Broadway as well. For Broadway, there is an interesting use case as these big theaters. They have lots of people who are really disconnected from tech space, who are in charge of ticketing and organizing all the shows. Then we have artists who are actually performing at these shows. And all these artists, they're obviously not performing just in one show. They have their own cabarets, they have their own individual shows in other bars, restaurants, or other locations. And these artists are asking to find a different ways they can stay in touch and connect with the audience. Because now what's happening? You're coming to Broadway show, they're handing in a paper where they're writing information about artists, about their performance. And come on, everyone is so used to smartphones. No one gonna keep this paper. Everyone losing this paper. It's also dark. You can't really read it. So everyone forgets whoever was an artist performing at that show, even if they like that artist. There is no way to stay in touch and communicate and stay tuned on their upcoming shows. But now with NFT technology, when your audience are coming for a specific, let's say it's Moulin Rouge, it's a popular Broadway show. Let's say you're coming to Moulin Rouge.
Which I just bought tickets for, by the way.
Oh, really? Oh, I watched it.
During NFT NYC, we're staying an extra day, and Aaron and I are going to see the show.
That's great. I watched it a couple of months ago. Really great show. You'll definitely enjoy. So yeah, let's say you are coming to Moulin Rouge and you really liked artists that were performing there, but then these artists don't know who were in their audience, and they have no way to send them some invitation to their separate cabarets or their separate shows. And NFT technology solves it, because now you can do additional drop of ticket invites. You can do additional drop of some membership opportunities. So now the audience can stay in touch with artists as well and see if they want to follow them and see if they want to see their other shows or maybe listen to their music. Because, for example, one artist at Moulin Rouge, she had amazing, beautiful voice. I don't remember her name. I watched it. I loved it. I even Googled her up. But now I totally forgot because there was no way for me to follow her, stay kind of connected and follow on her music. And she's a singer. I would definitely listen to her music. It was very beautiful, but I just don't have any way to save it.
I have a question here for you. I was just looking at your Twitter, and I have to know what it is you put out there because apparently the Twitter bots have blocked your two most recent tweets saying that you violated Twitter rules. Now, you and I know that Twitter, most of what's a violation is not really a violation, but do you have any idea what you tweeted most recently?
Oh my God, yes, I know. Like it was really annoying. I'm still trying to figure out if it was the exact reason, but what I believe. So I did a short clip from my panel at Security Token Summit, and I cut out around like 15 seconds where our moderator was asking me if democratization in the tokenization space is just a buzzword. And I was immediately replying, yes, democratization right now is just a buzzword. And then, of course, I was explaining why we're not yet achieving democratization with all these legal restrictions and government just not understanding how it's supposed to work, and tokenization companies also not trying to improve it. And I posted this phrase where I'm just saying, yeah, democratization is a buzzword, and I added in my tweet, and it just blocked me. So I was like, okay, I don't know. I guess you cannot mention democratization and the buzzword in one sentence. I guess it's a freedom of speech curated by Twitter.
Yeah.
But
which is to say anti-freedom.
Absolutely. And the funniest thing is that I tried to repost it and I was like, okay, I'm not going to mention it in my tweet. I'll just say something general, something like here is like takeaways from my panel at Security Token Summit. And I posted the same video clip. But because video clip immediately saying, yes, democratization is a buzzword, I'm getting banned immediately. It was like within 1 second. It's just ridiculous.
I was hoping that, maybe instead you tweeted men are men and women are women, and, or that, you love Elon Musk or something, that or maybe that you question vaccine efficacy, and maybe that would, but what is this even? This is nothing.
You can't talk about democratization.
Huh.
So you cannot express your opinion. And that was funny. And I was like, why do we use Twitter? Like we're trying to fight for decentralized communities. We're trying to fight against regulations in the crypto space. We're trying to fight for freedom of speech. And then we're all like, oh, what's your Twitter?
Right.
Well, crypto Twitter is a good way to connect with others, right? Then you bring them over into your Telegram or your Discord or your Signal. And that's where you have real conversations, right? So it's like you got to make your connections. I make my first touch a lot of times on Twitter, move it over to LinkedIn. Then if I want to do business, I move it over to Signal, typically. Telegram, there's just so many conversations going on Telegram. It's hard to manage a lot of those. So it's like, it gets a little rough. Signal, to me, it is completely encrypted, allegedly. And so I'm good with that. And you're able to, I get notifications on that. So that's good for me. So cool stuff. So what else is going on? Anything else as we're wrapping up here that you would like our audience to know about Miss Elena Obukhova and what's going on in her world?
I mean, we're working on multiple events right now with our Supermoon Camp community. It's actually Travis was a community when we met in Miami. So
I met you guys. My buddy Mohishwari, who I've known for like 13 years, invited me out and met you guys. You guys are doing some pretty cool stuff with Supermoon.
Yeah, and he's a part of our Supermoon community as well.
Oh, so, he's joined in now, huh? What does it mean
he's
to
one
join
of the
in?
members.
How do you join in? How do you become a Supermoon member? A Supermoon member?
So initially, like if you wanted to become a Supermooner, that's how I call for now. But yeah, if you want to become our member, initially you needed to stay with us at our camp because we were selecting every single candidate who would we invite to stay with us. And if you were approved to stay at our camp, then you were automatically approved as a member. And now we're launching memberships, like NFT memberships, that will give you access to our community and resources. And
Very
Supermoon
nice.
Camp is preparing way more. So we have events. We're planning to have one big mansion party in Austin during Consensus, then 2 rooftop events during NFT NYC. And we're planning to have a Mega Moon Festival in 1.5 years, or maybe 2 years from now. It will be a first music festival for crypto community, really large. We expect a few thousand people, and mini camps during that music festival where people can stay with us as well.
Right on.
And
What is a camp? What do you mean by a camp? Are you like people pitching tents and hanging out in hammocks? And what do you mean?
I mean, during Mega Moon, probably it's going to be like that because it's a music festival.
Mega Moon, you said, or Maga Moon?
Mega Moon.
Mega Moon. Maga Moon would be different.
And yeah, the Mega Moon.
Awesome.
And we have, the camp itself is like we're renting a huge house. We all stay together. We invite people that are working on cool projects in the space, VCs, investors, entrepreneurs. We all stay together. We attend different events that are happening during this week in different locations. So now will be Decentral and Consensus in Austin. So we rent a huge house, we stay together, we visit these events, and have our own event and agenda. At the same time, we do lots of podcasts, media coverage, and soon we will be launching Supermoon Academy to educate people about Web3 and decentralization, because I do feel our responsibility is to change how education works and explain what crypto actually stands for, and break down all facts and all false information that is out there, like Bitcoin is environmentally unfriendly, for example. We're going to be explaining why it's not correct. And we will also launch a Supermoon Foundation that will support entrepreneurs and cool projects that are just starting their journey.
There you go. Elena, where's the best place for people to engage with you and keep up with what you got going on?
Well, we have our Supermoon community on Telegram that we're now starting to grow. We also opening our Supermoon community on Discord, where people can join and stay tuned on all upcoming opportunities. For me personally, there is my website. It's my surname and .co.co. There is also LinkedIn. I'm not that often checking my LinkedIn, but I'm frequently going there to check on messages, and I do reply to every single person. So I make sure I spend some time on that. And of course, Telegram, always Telegram.
Excellent. Well, we hope this hasn't been too painful for you today. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
It was amazing conversations. Thank you both.
And we're back to say less interesting things than our guest just did. Because that's kind of, when we started the show, it was like, hey, we're not experts. We're not financial advisors. We're just two dudes talking crypto.
Two dudes talking crypto. Two dudes talking crypto. Joel and Travis are just two dudes talking crypto. Oh, yeah.
That's all we are. And that's still what we are. We understand a little bit more now than we did then, but it's always
we know so much now, though, that people want us to come to their events and tell them about stuff.
They do, and they ask us to be advisors on projects, and then we drop value, on them, which is just, I never thought that would happen.
The day when we're dropping value is always good. If you think about it, though, I think we're uniquely positioned in a lot of ways, Joel, because of the fact that we have all these years of marketing experience in Web 1 and Web 2. And we've been talking about Web 3 for 5 years, right? And I've always thought blockchain really is the beginnings of Web 3, and we've chatted about that. And think of how many interviews we've done, bro. Like, it's not just we've done 700 episodes and we've done 200 episodes of the Nifty Show or whatever. We've done probably 1,500 interviews or more, and we've seen more than most. And so it gives us a unique perspective due to that flavor that we got.
And we're just about less than 2 months out from our 5-year podcast anniversary. And like Elton John, we're still standing because I'm at a standing desk. You're sitting.
I am sitting on my big old ass.
Good job. All right. Well, hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. Appreciate that you're part of the Republic of Bad Cryptopia. Some things happening internally, and we'll have some announcements to make for you soon. We're also working out the final details on the Bad Crypto NFT Club that we're going to be launching, and you're going to have an opportunity to get a limited edition, super cool 3D spinny Bad Crypto NFT. Found a site that's going to help us to accomplish this, and you guys are going to dig it. So you don't want to miss a hot minute of the show, or else you might miss something super collectible along with the knowledge.
On with the knowledge. And also, I'm doing something flipping the script a little bit. We always talk about crypto here, but I'm a firm believer that we are all spiritual beings that's having a human experience, and we're trying to find our way out of the funk that society's in a pretty weird place. So we're trying to find solutions. As I mentioned, we're shit figure outers, and so we're doing a thing on Wednesdays for the Ancient Wisdom Project, ancientwisdom.io. You can join us. It's a Web3 Wisdom Wednesdays on Twitter Spaces. It's at 9 p.m. Eastern. We've done 2 so far and did one last night, and you're more than welcome to join us every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And we're going to talk a little bit of Web3, talk some wisdom, give you guys some tools to help relax and quiet the blah, blah in your mind, and just connect with really good people. You know, one of our biggest fans of listening to the show, Technical Rift, Mr. Will I Am himself, he's tuned into these, and he goes, wow, I've met so many amazing, supportive people already on this. This has been amazing. So, we're not alone. We're out there. We're trying to create community of awesome people, and because really trying to engage change makers and cultivate change makers to help raise the vibration of this crazy planet. So you're more than welcome to come and join us on Web3 Wednesday.
And pick up some good vibrations.
Good.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll catch you on the next episode. We will be back. We will be back, because that's what we do, and we will be back, and we'll tell you until the next time.
I'll be bad.
Stay bad. The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor.